Hello, and welcome to the fourth video of my 10-part Breath of the Wild any percent speedrun tutorial series. This video will cover the entire third segment of the run, Stasis, which actually begins inside the Magnesis Shrine just after having activated the monk, and takes us across the plateau using a BLSS and up quite a bit in elevation using a tree Windbomb as we head over to complete the Stasis Shrine. And don't worry, neither of these strats are as intimidating as they may appear on first look. As always, if there's anything I go over in this video that you don't understand how to follow along with, the information you need is probably in the first video of this series, and if there's anything that I cover here that's outdated by the time you're watching this video and I've made an updated addendum, a card linking you to the updated strats will appear in the upper right corner, as well as a link in the description. And with that, let's get started. Just like in the previous segments, you want to immediately skip through the first two text boxes that pop up at the very start of the segment by mashing X for the first and A for the second. And remember to wait a moment to cancel the third that finishes the cutscene until the monk's text fades away to get your faster load screen and free time save. As the load screen completes and you're about to regain control of Link, you want to already be holding left on both control sticks and B so that Link starts sprinting towards the wall and the camera turns with you at the same time so you can see where you're going. It's far enough away that you could run out of stamina, so make sure to manage it properly. Head to the wall and climb up here using one upward climb hop and an up left side hop to make it over the top of the wall. Turn the camera to face this direction, set up a BLSS, and take off right from the ledge. You want to be heading this way. Keep in mind as you practice this that this is the trickiest BLSS of the run. There are a lot of obstacles including trees, rocks, and most noticeably a bridge that we're about to fly under. Building confidence in your steering and handling is a must, so make sure to practice this trick a lot, as well as just generally BLSSing randomly around the overworld to gain more flight experience. Once airborne, we're heading straight for that bridge I just mentioned, and the key is that you've got to fly accurately enough to go straight under the bridge while building enough speed to get up over a hill that's just on the other side of it. In practice, it can be helpful while learning to fly slower at first until you line up a proper angle to shoot towards the bridge, and then once Link and your camera angle are in position, start wiggling harder as needed to rush towards and up the hill. You can help maintain your speed while going up the hill as much as possible by staying on the dirt path and by alternating between turning Link's back to the hill and wiggling, and then turning Link back around forward to face the hill and shoot that momentum up the hill as much as possible. And be careful not to press too hard down on the left control stick. Pressing down L3 won't do anything while you're in the air, but while Link is touching down on the ground, it will make him drop the BLSS. Once you've cleared the top of the hill, you want to navigate Link through the field of trees and rocks, generally aiming between these two boulders until you've made it all the way over here just past the old man's house and land right around these trees here. If you drop the BLSS at the top of the hill after going under the bridge, a popular backup strat is to run up here and take off from this ledge. If you drop the BLSS somewhere out in the middle of the field, the backup is to switch to square bombs and blow up a tree, and then switch back to circle, set up a new BLSS, and then take off from the stump that you just created. Either way, once you've made it over here, and while you're approaching the Windbomb tree, make sure you've either picked up and put away your bomb, or detonated it after the BLSS, and re-equipped your shield. If you've touched down on the ground and you're still in the glitched BLSS state, the fastest way out is to tap Y or R to pull out your spear. And if you're concerned about the pot lid's durability, there's a brand new one right here on the log next to the old man's cabin you can grab while you're on your way. You have two ideal trees to choose from while doing your launch up to Stasis: a birch tree and an evergreen. The birch tree at the time of the making of this video is the more popular one among runners, as it's a little bit closer to the direction we approach from, so it's slightly faster in that respect, but it can be tricky to climb up this one because the branches may get in your way and either slow or knock you down. I prefer to use the evergreen over here next to it by the apple tree because it's a straight up climb, I consistently get more air, and I tend to land just a little bit closer to the shrine when using it, doing the same exact setup. So right, whichever tree you choose to use, the setup and Windbomb timing I'm about to show you will work. Which is good to know because in case you ever fail to launch but still blow up the tree, you can make your way over to the other one and try again, which is better than sitting through a load screen. Start your climb with full stamina using 3 climb hops. Remember, from the birch tree you may have to shuffle around these branches, so get familiar with a couple positions around the trunk you can line Link up to climb most in a straight path to the top. Don't worry about your stamina too much. As long as you make it up to the top, it'll recharge once you're there. Obviously though, try not to run it completely empty because then you'll definitely have to wait for the cooldown. But even if there's only a tiny sliver left when you reach the top, that's totally okay, because in the moment it takes you to set up Link's angle, you should have recharged enough stamina to do the Windbomb. Now that you're at the top of the tree, press R3 to enter scope mode and look at this spot right here on the rocks where the shadows stop on this dark texture right here. The area is generous up and down, not so much left and right. Press R3 again to exit your scope mode and Link's position is set. For this Windbomb, the timing is important to get the height we need. I watch Link's stamina usage as a visual cue to time my bomb placement, and for the purposes of teaching, I'll describe how I do this as if the stamina meter is fully charged. When you're fast enough to exit scope aim and jump before the stamina is fully charged, you'll have to either compensate by judging how much is used after your jump, or find another visual cue that doesn't time the bomb placement by watching stamina usage. To perform this Windbomb, because you're on a tree, you actually don't have to hold forward to get the forward hop. Simply press X and Link will automatically leap in the direction you just scope aim towards. After your jump, you want to drop your circle bombs, enter bullet time, and switch to squares. Then wait until the stamina is slightly past 1/4 usage. If it were an analog clock, it would be in about the 3:15 to 3:30 position, no later than 4. You want to drop the square bomb at this point and immediately, I mean immediately, go back into your rune menu, switch to circle, and detonate the circle as fast as you can after leaving the menu. If timed properly, Link will gain a massive amount of air and fly right in the direction of the Stasis Shrine. There are a few things that could go wrong here, mostly with the Windbomb timing or possibly getting lag stopped. You can minimize or completely eliminate this happening here at the tree by turning the camera upwards towards the sky. If you're getting the right effect but not quite enough air to make it all the way over the edge, the problem most likely is that you're detonating your circle bomb a little bit slow after dropping the square. Make sure to be as quick as you can after dropping square and switching back and detonating circle. Now that you've landed near the shrine, you should normally have 2 hearts, and just like when you arrived at the bomb shrine, you should still have skew. This time from when you clipped into Magnesis during the last segment. But if you don't have skew, you'll need to reset it here, so let's go over that. Get Link in about this position and do an instant shield jump, landing the shield around the lower part of this beam right here. It's pretty much aiming for the same spot I mentioned in the explanation on how to set skew into the bomb shrine wall, although I would say that this is a little bit more lenient of an area. I should also mention, now that we're a little more into the thick of it for clarity, that you can set skew by landing your potlet on the side of the wall, either from a standstill or while running. As long as Link is close enough to hit the intended sweet spot on the sloped wall, you're good. Now once you have skew, or if you still have it from the time you arrive, you can run over to this spot right here along the side of the shrine wall and start holding ZL and R. There are 2 popular visual cues to set Link's position. The first visual cue is this dark spot on the ground right here where you can put Link's left foot on top. We'll talk about the second in a moment. To set Link's angle, you want to reference the mini-map in the corner. Put your left field of view lines just to the right of the beacon, cancel out of the throw aim, and do an instant shield jump. Unequip your shield mid-flip to clip through the wall. Once you're through, re-equip your shield. Now, during practice or in your runs, you may find yourself starting to hold R to throw aim and set Link's angle before you have him set on the dark spot on the ground for his positioning. And when you're throw aiming, you can't see the ground because the camera is zoomed in like this. So, you can also set Link's position by using this kind of sideways heart-shaped texture on the shrine wall here. Put Link's head underneath this and go for the clip that way. When you do, his left foot should be on that dark spot as well. If you don't make it through, keep playing with your position and your angle or reset skew until you've made it through. This is one of the easier clips on the route once you understand it, and getting into the elevator is even easier. All you have to do is walk up to it while crouched and then uncrouch while set up against it, and Link should be close enough to see the prompts to activate the elevator from his standing position right here. You can press A to activate it and X to skip the cutscene. You can skip the cutscene of Link entering the shrine on the elevator by pressing X. and then hold ZL up, left, and B. Let go of ZL as soon as you feel a slight vibration in the controller, and continue holding up, left, and B to sprint towards the pedestal and activate stasis by pressing A. Holding ZL here is completely optional, but it does give you a slight head start, and especially if you're not ready to do the Windbomb inside here yet during the runs, every little moment counts because this shrine runs on a cycle. So we want to be as quick as we can to catch the first one. As the cutscene wraps up, be ready to hit L to activate stasis and use it to freeze the gear so you can run across the platform, catching first cycle. Now there are many Windbomb setups for this shrine. Some from behind the gear epitomize the meaning of go big or go home, while others are still risky but much more consistent and still save time over running straight through. I'll show you the favorite setup I've learned in a moment, but before the Windbomb, you really should know how to run straight through stasis using the traditional speedrun strats, which are nearly as the game developers intended, and don't lose that much time at all. To run through the shrine without a Windbomb, after you've frozen the gear in place and are running across, you want to unfreeze the gear as you're still running across the platform to save on the cooldown timer. You can also do an optional quick pull with your spear by tapping R and B in quick succession immediately after activating the stasis gear to make Link leave his little animation of running with the Sheikah Slate still out, which is slower. This is totally optional but saves a little bit of time. Now that you've unstasis the gear but you're still running across, you have to be quick to hop over the edge. Once you've made it, run forward a little bit while looking over ahead at the boulder in the distance that's going to be coming down this ramp. From here you can activate stasis again, and if done properly, your cooldown timer should be ready to take aim at the ball and freeze it in place before it closes off access to the top of the chute it's coming down. Once you've frozen the ball, you can do another optional quick pull of the spear to save a little more time. It's worth it to implement because it's such an easy thing to do that may be awkward at first, but it should never kill a run, and it will be easier to continue implementing this little nuance point strat later when you're more experienced than it would be to start trying to implement it later after you've built muscle memory up. Anyway, continue running up the chute here and use this line as a guide to keep your running path straight. Once you made it to the top, turn left and then right to continue running straight down the narrow platform where a boulder blocks the way. You can do a well-timed delayed shield jump here to get yourself across the gap. Keep in mind that unequipping the pot lid after Link starts his flip animation will help him stick the landing better. If you keep the pot lid under his feet like you can get away with doing inside the Mag Shrine, Link will have trouble climbing up to safety. This jump is tricky and it takes practice because it's not exactly a straight shot and it is quite a gap to clear, but it is super helpful to know and I highly recommend getting comfortable with this jump. It's also helpful to be able to pull this one off in case your Windbomb somehow doesn't take you all the way to the monk, so practice it. If you're really having a hard time when starting out, it's worth it to pick up the hammer and knock it out of the way as intended to keep a good pace going. But I highly recommend graduating up to the boulder skip jump as soon as possible and eventually the Windbomb. And on that note, you should never use your spear to move this boulder out of the way because you'll need it at the beginning of the next segment. Now it's time to talk about doing Windbombs in here, and for the one I'm going to teach you, it's another turn Windbomb. And I know in the first video I said regular front hops and tree Windbombs were the most important, and this is the third turn Windbomb I'm going to cover. But you do not have to do the turn Windbomb I'm about to teach, or any of the turn Windbombs I show you. As I said earlier in the video, running straight through on foot is also fast, and it's way easier and more consistent with less practice and experience put in. And the timings for this shrine's standard front hop Windbomb placement and bullet time entry are another Windbomb nuance point to practice for a strat that's a little bit slower, and in my opinion, a tiny bit more difficult as well. So, for the Windbomb I'll be covering in this video, after freezing the gear, continue running and never mind about the stasis cooldown. You won't be needing it here anymore. Make sure to clear your glitched ragdoll state if it hasn't been already, and menu from stasis rune to circle bombs on your way over to the ledge. Now, I should have definitely mentioned in the previous video while discussing the turn Windbomb inside the Mag Shrine that as long as you're holding ZL, you can move forward all you want and Link will not run off the edge. To perform the turn Windbomb, run up to the ledge with Link's right foot at the edge of the shadow here. Throw aim the spear and align your crosshairs with the top and bottom reticles with the seam of this ledge. Do a front hop, drop your circle, and enter bullet time. Switch to square and drop it as soon as Link's feet stop lining up. Switch back to circle, Aim your bow towards this dot right here and detonate the circle bomb. This should launch you low enough to not hit the ceiling and straight enough to land right on the front steps of the monk when done optimally. If you're not flying straight, it's probably because you turned too much or too little. Make sure to be right on that dot. Once you've launched Link all the way across, you're there. So go up the stairs, menu back to Stasis, activate the monk, and hit the split timer to end the segment as the glass shatters. And that's the end of the Stasis segment. You've got this. Doing the BLSS under the bridge and through the field may seem kind of crazy at first, but it really adds to the fun when you have runs going and you're able to consistently make your way through all the obstacles. In the next video, we'll go over the complete Cryonis segment, and then after that, we're just about ready to head to Castle. Get ready, we're almost there. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the thumbs up if this video helped you. It helps me so much. And if you'd like to see me doing full any % runs live, check out the link in the description for my Twitch channel where I currently stream this game 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday, trying to grind my personal best time as low as possible. I'd love to see you over there as well. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, stay well, stay cool, and always keep punching out there. Aloha.